The world was still young. Not young in innocence, but young in imbalance. Ice stretched endlessly across the newborn earth. Jagged ridges of frost rose like unfinished thoughts, and the wind carved its language into the surface of everything. Across that frozen expanse walked three figures. Odin at the front, his cloak heavy with frost, his one eye fixed forward, unblinking. Behind him, Vili, his breath sharp in the cold air, his hands restless at his weapon. K and V, silent, watching the sky for signs written in storm. Each step they took broke the fragile crust of ice. Each footfall echoed longer than it should. Far ahead, something massive shifted. It wasn't a mountain, it wasn't a storm. It was Ymir, the first being, the source from which giants multiplied without restraint. The brothers did not slow. They did not rush. They walked toward necessity. Through sheets of wind and drifting frost, Ymir stood revealed. His body towered beyond measure. Ice plates formed his skin, layered like ancient tectonic stone, and veins of dim blue light pulsed beneath translucent frost. Each breath he exhaled burst outward as freezing vapor, and each movement caused the ground to tremble. His shoulders scraped low clouds. His shadow swallowed valleys. From his flesh, the frost giants had sprung, born not from design, but from excess. He did not rule the world. He overflowed it. When he shifted his weight, glaciers fractured. When he roared, the air itself recoiled. Was not evil. He was uncontrolled creation. An uncontrolled creation cannot endure. The gods stood small before him, yet they did not bow. No challenge was spoken, no warning given. Only the wind carried breath between them. Odin stepped forward one pace. The snow slowed in the air, as if listening. His spear, Gungnir, caught faint light from the storm as frost gathered along its edge. Vili shifted his stance. Via circled slightly outward, across the field. Ymir's enormous hand tightened, and ice cracked beneath his grip. There are moments when history does not ask permission. It demands action. Odin raised the spear. The age of chaos had reached its limit. Vili moved first. He sprinted across the ice, his boots cutting deep lines into the frozen ground. Wind tore at his cloak as he leaped. For a breath, he was suspended against the storm. Then, still met glacier. The blade struck Ymir's leg, splintered outward in jagged fragments. Ymir roared, the sound rippling through the sky like a breaking mountain. The giant swung an arm wide, displacing the air in a violent shockwave. Snow blasted outward in spirals. Vili was thrown back, sliding across the ice. He rose again, unbroken. V moved with calculation. He circled behind the giant's massive frame, his boots silent against the fractured frost. When he struck, it was not reckless. It was precise. Its blade carved across Ymir's side, and a line of shattered ice spread from the wound. The frost giant staggered. Each step he took crushed hills into powder. Ymir's massive hand swept backward, the impact striking V and sending him tumbling through snow and broken ice. He rolled, regained his footing, and returned to the fight. Force and precision. Chaos met with purpose. The storm gathered overhead. Lightning flickered in distant clouds. Odin walked forward alone. He did not sprint. He did not shout. Ymir towered above him, wounded yet vast. Blood, the color of dark iron, seeped from shattered frost. Odin felt the weight of what must be done. To kill the first life was to introduce death into existence, but without death, there could be no shape. He spun Gungnir once in his hand. Lightning illuminated his face. This was not vengeance, it was foundation. Odin cast the spear. Time seemed to fracture. The weapon cut through snow and wind in absolute silence. Then, impact. Gungnir pierced Ymir's chest. A crack like splitting worlds tore across the sky. Energy rippled outward in concentric waves. The giant staggered backward. His knees buckled. Mountains of ice collapsed beneath his weight. Ymir fell. The earth shook as his body struck the ground, and from the wound, blood erupted. The blood poured forth in torrents. It carved channels through the ice. It flooded valleys. It surged with unstoppable force. Frost giants attempted escape. Some climbed. Some ran. Most were swallowed. The flood carried away the old world. Only a few survived beyond the rushing tide. Chaos was not erased, but it was diminished. The waters settled slowly. Silence followed. The storm quieted. Ymir lay across the horizon, no longer towering, no longer breathing. Steam rose from wounds where his blood met the frost. Odin, Vili, and Vi stood at the edge of the fallen giant. The first death had occurred, and the world felt different. He was no longer chaos. He was material. The brothers walked across Ymir's body. They looked upon the vastness of him, flesh, bone, blood, skull, all waiting. From this fallen giant, land would rise. From these remains, the world would take form. The slaying was finished. Creation would begin.